The motor system. As you access the motor system, focus on the body position, involuntary movement, characteristics of muscles, and coordination. Body position. Observe the patient's body position during movement and at rest. Involuntary movements. Watch for involuntary movements such as tremors, trichoria, or fasciculations. Note their location, quality, rate, rhythm, and amplitude, and their relation to posture, activity, fatigue, emotion, and other factors. Muscle bulk. Inspect the size and contours of the muscle. When inspect the atrophy, pay particular attention to the hands, shoulders, thighs, and legs. Space between the metacarpals, where the dorsal intercostal muscles lie, should be full or only slightly depressed. The thenar and hypothenar emens on the hand should be full and convex. Atrophy of the hand muscles occur in normal aging. Inspect the fasciculation in the atrophic muscles. If absent, tap on the muscles with reflex hormone which stimulate them. Muscle tone. When a normal muscle with an intact nerve supply is relaxed voluntarily, it maintains a slight residual tension known as muscle tone. This is the best accessed by feeling the muscle's resistance to passive stretch. Hold one hand with yours and while supporting the elbow, flex and extend the patient's finger, wrist, and elbow, and put the shoulder through the moderate range of motion. Tense patients may show increased resistance. With the repeat practice, you will learn the feel of normal resistance. If you suspect decreased resistance, hold the forearm and shake the hands slowly. Shake the hand loosely back and forth. The resistance is increased. Determine if it is varies as you move the limb or persist throughout the range of movements and in the both direction. To access muscle tone in the legs, support the patient's thigh with one hand and grabs the foot with the other, and flexed extend the patient's knee and angle on each side. Note the resistance to moving the limb. Muscle strength. For normal strength varies widely, so your standard of normal should allow for factors like age, sex, muscular training. The patient's dominant side is usually slightly stronger than the non-dominant side. Though the difference can be hard to detect, keep this difference in mind as you compare sides. Remember that muscle is strongest when shortest and weakest when longest. Give the patients the advantage as you try to overcome the resistance and judge through the muscles' true strength. If the muscles are too weak to overcome resistance, test them against gravity alone or with gravity eliminated. When the forearm rests in the pronated position, for example, dorsiflexum at the wrist can be tested against the gravity alone. When the forearm is midway between pronation and supination, extension at the wrist can be tested with gravity eliminated. Finally, if the patient fails to move the body part, observe or palpate for weak muscular contraction. Test flexion and extension. For test the flexion and extension at the elbow by having the patient pull or push against your hand. It will help to identify C5, C6, C7, C8 functions. Test extension at the wrist by asking the patient to make the fist and resist as you press down, or ask the patient to extend the forearm with fingers straight and palms up, then press the palms downward. Test the grip. Ask the patient to squeeze two of your fingers as hard as possible and not let them go. To avoid getting hurt by strong grips, place your own middle finger on the top of your index finger. Normally, it should be difficult for you to pull your fingers from the patient's grip. Test both grips simultaneously with the patient's arms extended or in the lap to help compare the right hand grip with the left. Test finger abduction. Position the patient's hand with palm down and fingers spread. Instruct the patients to prevent you from moving any fingers as you try to force them together. Test opposition of the thumb. Ask the patient to touch the tip of the little finger with the thumb against your assistant. Test flexion at the hip by placing your hand on the patient's mid thigh and asking the patient to raise the leg against your hand. Test abduction at the hips. Place your hands firmly on the bed between the patient's knee. Ask the patient to bring both legs together. Abduction at the hips. Place your hands firmly outside the patient's knee. Ask the patient to spread both legs against your hand. Test extension at the hip. Have the patient push the mid posterior thigh down against your hand. Test extension at the knee. Support the knee in flexion and ask the patient to straighten the leg against your hand. The quadricep is the strongest muscle in the body, so expect the forceful response. Test flexion at the knee. Position the patient's leg so that the knee is flexed with the foot resting on the bed. Tell the patient to keep the foot down as you try to straighten the leg. Test foot dorsiflexion and plantar flexion. At the angle by asking the patient pull up and push down against your hand. Heel and toe walk also access foot dorsiflexion and plantar flexion respectively.